Am I unmuted now?
Yes.
छल छबिलो छल छबिलो छल छबिलो नाचे छल छबीला नंद का कुमार है नाचे छल छबीला नंद का कुमार है नाचे छल छबीला नंद का कुमार है गलबागी दे पिया के सुंदर श्रृंगार है गलबागी दे पिया के सुंदर श्रृंगार है नाचे छल छबीला नंद का कुमार है नाचे छल छबीला नंद का कुमार है गलबागी दे पिया के सुंदर श्रृंगार है गलबागी दे पिया के सुंदर श्रृंगार है नाचे छल छबीला नंद का कुमार है नंद का कुमार है नंद का कुमार है इत मंद मंद जीनी जीनी इत मंद मंद जीनी नुपुर आवाज है इत मंद मंद जीनी नुपुर आवाज है इत मंद जीनी नुपुर आवाज है उत पाए जेब पायल उत पाए जेब पायल धन की सिगाज है उत पाए जेब पायल धन की सिगाज है गलबागी दे पिया के सुंदर श्रृंगार है गलबागी दे पिया के सुंदर श्रृंगार है नाचे छल छबीला नंद का कुमार है नाचे छल छबीला नंद का कुमार है पगिया लसी कुंवर के सिर पे लाल है पगिया लसी कुंवर के सिर पे लाल है पगिया लसी उदासी कुंवर के सिर पे लाल है, भ्रिकुटी लगी ललोई, भ्रिकुटी लगी ललोई, प्यार के भाल है, भ्रिकुटी लगी ललोई, प्यार के भाल है। जलवाही दे पिया के सुंदर श्रृंगार है, जलवाही दे पिया के सुंदर श्रृंगार है। नाचे छैल छबीला नंद का कुमार है, नाचे छैल छबीला नंद का कुमार है। कटिका छिनी सुचोली पटका किनार का, कटिका छिनी सुचोली पटका किनार का, कटिका छिनी सुचोली पटका किनार का। झुमका गल हीर हार है, कानो जड़ाऊ झुमका गल हीर हार है। गलबाही दे पिया के सुंदर श्रृंगार है, गलबाही दे पिया के सुंदर श्रृंगार है। नाचे छैल छबीला नंद का कुमार है, नाचे छैल छबीला नंद का कुमार है। दामिनी सुरंगी सेला किरत कुमार का, दामिनी सुरंगी सेला किरत कुमार का। मोतिन की माल सुंदर, मोतिन की माल सुंदर शोभा पार है, मोतिन की माल सुंदर शोभा पार है, मोतिन की माल सुंदर शोभा पार है। गलबाही दे पिया के सुंदर श्रृंगार है, नाचे छैल छबीला नंद का कुमार है, नाचे छैल छबीला नंद का कुमार है, नंद का कुमार है। नाचे छैल छबीला नंद का कुमार है, नाचे छैल छबीला नंद का कुमार है।
क्या बात है, क्या बात है सोनम जी, वाह वाह।
Thank you. I'm sorry there was a technical glitch earlier, but that's the only thing we have to leave. We have to leave some things to the gods as well. हमारे हाथों में नहीं होता तो माफ
All
करिएगा
well
उस
that
गुस्ताखी के
ends
लिए।
well.
जी माफ करिएगा उसका गुस्ताखी के लिए।
नहीं नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं।
Over to Pooja now.
Thanks, Sonam. That was absolutely beautiful. I've shared the history of Pitchwise, and now I will talk about my journey with Pitchwise. Starting out, the first thing I will say is that Pichwai is not just an art form. It's a form of spirituality and a form of worship for the Pushti Margi sect. For them, making, or for all the artists of Pichwai, the making of a Pichwai is a sign of devotion. When I started going back to Udaipur and I was looking for good Pichwais, it seemed very difficult for me to find anything that was of any quality. What I had grown up with somehow no longer existed. And I kept trying to understand what had happened and why it had happened. And I was not sure how the Pichwais that we saw had disappeared completely. What I began to realize that the art form had greatly declined. It was a multitude of factors that led to this decline. There was an age. The artists were no longer as devoted. The younger generation of artists were no longer as devoted as the older generation used to be. The older generation of artists sometimes trained for, some of them said they trained for 30, 35 years before they painted a Pichwai. And when I spoke to them, they said our sons won't even train for 10 years. So instead of looking at to buy a Pichwai from the artist or the middleman, I began to get in touch with some of the community and commission pieces to see that we could bring some of the quality back. That led to the formation of my atelier called Pichwai Tradition and Beyond. We began to slowly put together artists. None of them are Adigors. I think we have one Jangir in our lot. Most of them are Mewadas. Some of them are from Kishangarh. For me, it was not important whether these artists had a history, whether they were from a particular community. For me, what was important was that the art should stay alive. So whether it was a young boy who was willing to train under one of our old artists, we would bring him in, let him mix colors. If it was someone who could sketch, we would make him sketch and get someone else to color. So I think what really happened was a confluence of my entrepreneurial business skills, which came together with this traditional art form. I studied the history, the techniques, the craft, everything. And I began to see what was wrong and apply my logical business brain to see what we could do to bring it together. I'm going to show you through this presentation some old compositions. What I have done in the last 10 years, I started this in 2010, through the atelier, is that we continuously make works which our artists are doing. I have 40 to 50 artists that I support on a daily basis, whether the work sell or not. The reason for doing this is that if the artists don't have work, they will become vegetable vendors, they'll become tea sellers, and all that I have invested in bringing the art back will no longer be there. Other than that, I also collect and curate a collection of the very good pieces that I find from other artists who may or may not be from my atelier. My atelier is now moving on to make more of the interventions and the contemporary interpretations of the Pichwai art that I have come up with or I have directed. But we also keep in our collection some beautiful old pieces and traditional pieces which to me meet my standards of what a Pichwai should be. Some of the pictures that you're seeing are of my atelier at work in the main process of miniaturization, which I'll talk more about later. Talking about the Nathdwara style. The traditional Nathdwara style came together in the 19th century. It had emerged and was characterized by dreamy-eyed cows, human figures with full bodies and bell-shaped skirts. While there is a conversation that the Jangirs and the Adigors came from Mathura, Robert Skelton, who's a leading authority in Pichwais, in the history of Pichwais in India, he says there was nothing of Vraj in the style of Nathdwara. It is in fact influenced by most of the schools of Mewar. Whether it is the precision of the Jaipur school, the influence of the Mughal style, the Kota or the Jodhpur style. In fact, the Kishangarh style, there is this whole debate whether Pichwais influenced Kishangarh influenced Pichwais. Because a lot of the Pushti Margis lived in the area of Kishangarh, and a lot of the artists in my atelier actually come from Kishangarh. This is the beautiful Sandhya Aarti Pichwai, which is also in a backdrop for Sonam as she sings. This Sandhya Aarti is a beautiful, prominent theme for the Rajputs. It depicts Krishna and Balram returning home after a long day of herding cows in their fields. And it gives, behind our majestic palaces, very, very significant in Rajasthan. The next composition is the Ras Leela. It's a very, very traditional, typical composition of Pichwais. Krishna appears dancing 8 times. On the 4 focal points, in some of the Ras Leelas, there is Srinathji instead of the Krishna figure. In this piece, it's not. The center is Madan Mohanji. At the bottom, you can see the cows grazing, who are again friends of Krishna, and the gopis creating music. On top are the celestial beings, Brahma and Shiva, who've come with their consorts. Another composition from very traditional composition is the Gopashtami. Gopashtami is a festival that celebrates Krishna's coming of age. It's celebrated during autumn in the months of October and November. And the whole thing is to show Krishna amidst his cow. The setting of this composition is such that it just portrays the whole divinity and the excitement of the worship of Krishna. This is the Sharad Purnima composition. This is quintessential Nathdwara style. The Pichwai represents the Srinathji shrine decorated for Sharad Purnima at full moon. Around this Pichwai, you can see 24 boxes of the Chobi Swarup. The second panel of boxes is life episodes of Krishna. This is a very, very typical Pichwai made by a Nathdwara artist, and this is a style that prevailed in the olden times. As a child, I was always fascinated by the boxes which had the Chobi Swarup, and I would often want to have a set of Chobi Swarup made as a separate work, and I could never find it with any of the artists of Nathdwara. This dream of mine in my childhood led to my very first intervention, where I pulled out the Chobi Swarup and deconstructed it, which is what you see here. These 24 works are the little boxes that you see around in a traditional Pichwai. When we pulled them out, we felt they were little miniatures and now stood as works on their own. These are two different versions of the Chobi Swarup made by two different artists. I sat with my artists. Some of them, the important thing to know about this particular deconstruction intervention is that as I set up this atelier, there were many miniature artists who were also out of work. So they began to approach my atelier to say, "Aap hame bhi kaam de dijiye." So in the beginning, I just wasn't very clear what we were going to do with them, but I took some of them in and I said, let's see what you can do for us. As we deconstructed this Chobi Swarup, there was a thought that why don't we sort of decorate it with Mughal miniature motifs? And that's when the two art forms confluenced. And what we've come up with is what is our style called the Mughal miniature style. As you can see in these two pieces, the backdrop of the Srinathji has been painted by intricate Mughal miniature motifs. There is no historical precedence or any kind of reference to this in the history of Pichwai art. In fact, this is a reflection of what this art has always been. Even in the 19th and 20th century, Nathdwara artists began to change this art form for it to survive. And this is what we've done today. As we move forward, I have brought together two art forms and decorated them and made them into a completely new way of being. Then we started to take normal Pichwais. As we did this the Chobi Swarup exercise, we also pulled out regular normal Pichwais and began to decorate them. So we went from a big scale Pichwai to the small 12-inch by 14-inch miniature Pichwais decorated with Mughal motifs, which were mostly done in paper. And then I took the experimentation forward and I gave those Mughal miniature motif Pichwais to now my Pichwai artists to say, why don't you make a big cloth Pichwai with a similar decorative pattern? And the works that you see in this slide came out with a whole new language for Pichwai art. The other significant intervention that I have done in Pichwais is what we call the Nathdwara miniatures. The big works that you saw in the beginning of this section are about 6 feet to 8 feet at a typical size. Having these miniature artists in my atelier, at one point, I just gave them the exercise and I said, why can you encapsulate that huge Pichwai in a miniature? And what you see on the screen right now is a Basli work, 12 inches by 14 inches. So it has got 24 miniatures within a miniature. And this work for me is a matter of great pride in my atelier because it greatly shows the extent of skill that the artists till today have. They may or may not have the ability to understand the market, the ability to compose a work which may have a certain aesthetic quality, but given the right direction, their skill is matching nothing else in this world. So I'm showing you some more Nathdwara miniatures, which are all small format works on Basli. Here we've shown you a large Ras Leela, which again my miniature artist has made into a very small miniature Pichwai. And here is a wall of these works. This is a recent shot from our art fair booth which we had. The art fair is a hub of contemporary art galleries, and Pichwai Tradition and Beyond about 4 years ago was the first traditional art form that was invited to this contemporary art fair to exhibit, and we now regularly take part in this art fair. Shown here is what I felt is for Pichwai art to continue, for revival to truly happen, creating a market, understanding the patron of art today was one of the most important things. And this is my Bikaner House show, which we had last year in Delhi. We also used this, the understanding and playing of scale and miniature, and started making all the big Pichwai compositions into small size Pichwais, which could be bought by younger collectors and also hung up in flats very easily. So no longer were patrons restricted because of the way the art form was translated to be able to whether they could buy it or not. It was now accessible to someone with a small flat, with a lesser budget for an art piece, and it could be displayed in the most interesting fashion, whether it was in a bookshelf or in a ledge, as I have shown here. The other style that is worth talking about in Pichwais is the Kota style of Pichwais. Kota, there were a lot of Srinathji temples in Kota as well, and the Nathdwara Pichwais have always had an amalgamation of different styles. The Kota style has the posture of the figures in the Kota style are more graceful. The colors are more muted, and it's more of a folk style. This is a wall of old, almost antique. I wouldn't call them antique because not all of them are 100 years old. But if you go to Nathdwara or the regions around Nathdwara, you will find a lot of artists, a lot of old families, all had this Kota style of Pichwais. Often artists would sit outside the Nathdwara temple and quickly sketch up this small piece of paper which pilgrims could take back. I've used my inspiration from these small Kota styles, and what you see on the slide now is an interpretation of what we've done with this Kota style. Seeing the format of what I saw with the old works, we created this whole collection of various size works and played with the interest of hanging and the way we put it together. This same collection can be, if you remove all the Pichwais on the periphery, can become smaller and bigger, and just shows the versatility of this art form. These are traditional Kotas framed in a navy blue, young, contemporary sort of hanging. These are some Kotas on cloth, and this is the large Kotas. Talking about the Deccan style of Pichwais, a lot of Nathdwara artists during the Mughal rule went down to the Deccan, and what emerged was an amalgamation of two styles of Pichwais. Deccan Pichwais are mostly characterized by gold and silver foiling. The Nathdwara artists learned this technique of gold and silver foiling. They would sketch Deccan pieces, and then they would fill it in with color and with gold and silver. So the amalgamation of the two styles, while Deccan was just gold and silver, the Deccan style of Pichwais became largely gold and silver, but with a touch of color. I have curated in my collection. My mother used to know this artist who died 2 years ago at 92. And in my various interactions with him, he was one of the foremost artists in Udaipur who bought this Deccan style. He learned this also from the court of the Nizam, and he was an expert in this style of Pichwais. A lot of these Pichwais are now circulating in the market, but when you look at it with a keen eye, you will find that the quality of the gold, the way it tarnishes, is what really shows you what a good Deccan is or not. A lot of the materials today used are Chinese or artificial. They'll probably put in more yellow powder to sort of reduce the cost of the materials. So what I did initially was that from this gentleman, because his career had started by selling Pichwais to my mother, he had a soft spot for me. So from his collection, I picked up close to 100 pieces, 50 of which are still with me today. After having looked at many, many Deccans in the entire marketplace of Pichwais, I curated a collection of 50 such big pieces, 3 of which you have seen today. And I knew that it was going to be difficult to revive this style. So I yet again used my miniature artists and did a whole collection of Deccan miniature baslis, which you can see in this set of Deccans put together. These are on basli paper. They use, again, the gold and the silver technique. I provide the gold powder and the silver powder to my artists. So we know that the quality of the gold is going to be good. And we use the Hilgari or the Varak technique. Some of the close-up shots. This cow composition that you're seeing is a geometric modern rendering of a traditional cow composition. This is a typical Deccan composition where Krishna is being represented by a tree. These two, which you have seen, are very tiny works. They are 2 inches by 4 inches, and they make part of larger clusters or may decorate small niches in homes. The gold on cloth. Because I couldn't let go of the romance of the old Deccan cloth pitchwise that I had in my collection, we began to work backwards to see if we could create cloth works with gold and silver and give them the same romance of the antique, and also modernize them in some way. So bringing out the cow and removing all the typical iconography of a Deccan, which is the gopis or the trees, this was my first experimentation, which we showcased at Bikaner House, with the 2 cows done using the old Deccan technique in cloth again. The Kamla Ka Pitchwai. This is a typical, again, a composition of pitchwais, which was used in the summer months to give a cooling effect to the sanctum sanctorum, and was hung behind the idol. These are mostly non-iconic. They don't have an idol of Krishna, and the repeat in them is the beauty of this art form. This green version that you see here came to being because I had an English friend who wanted to take the Pitchwai art back home and found the colors too traditional. So we experimented, and this beautiful mint green gave him a sense of it being Indian come English art, and a new language was born. These grey works are fairly traditional, but the way we've displayed them gives them a completely new life and language. Over here, I have worked, this was the next level of interventions for Lotus techniques. We went back to very fine miniatures. These are very small works. And for the first time, I introduced pastel colors in pitchwais, which is not what you have. These kind of blues and pale pinks is not something that is traditionally a part of pitchwai art. And the last but not the least was the black and white composition, the grayscale composition, a lot of which I will talk about later in my next section. These are white lotuses. This particular work, for example, I worked with a graphic designer, and the lotus repeat in traditional pitchwais was always a standard size. And I've always been quite interested with grading and playing with scales. So we started with big lotuses, and we went into small and found yet another language for lotus pitchwais, which wasn't ever seen before. We interpreted this in a blue color, something again that I hadn't seen in any old pitchwais. This brings me to the end of the second section of my talk. I will hand you over to Sonam, and in the next section, I'm going to showcase and talk to you about all the contemporary interventions which we have done for the pitchwai art today. Thank you. Over to you, Sonam.
Thank you, Pooja. So you cannot mention Radha, Krishna, without the mention of all his gopis, and especially Radha. The Radha-Krishna love story is eternal, and it is sublime. It is symbolic of the divine union between the Jivatma and the Paramatma, the individual self and the universal self. There is a lovely story, a legend that says that Radha asked Krishna why he wouldn't marry her. She said, "Why won't you marry me?" And he simply answered saying, "How can one marry one's soul when you are already a part of me?" This next piece that I will present is a Jhula. It's a folk song celebrating the onset of Sawan and the romance that it brings with it. The smell of wet earth, clouds laden with rain, nature exploding with the beauty of renewal, and a sense of playfulness in the air, a festive time, celebrating the love story between Radha and Krishna through a playful flirtation with swings and song. And I especially think it's beautiful because it is Radha who takes on the role of being the one to take the initiative, and she is luring Krishna to come out and play with her. She is the one in charge. ब्रज की महिमा अमर, ब्रज रस की है खान, ब्रज रज माथे पर चढ़े, ब्रज ही स्वर्ग समान। बावरी सुंदर राधिका, भोले कृष्ण कुमार, कुंज गलिन खेलत फिरे, ब्रज रज चरण पखार। ब्रज की रज चंदन बनी, माटी बनी अबीर। कृष्णा प्रेम रंग घोल के, धुली राधा शरीर। ब्रज की रज भक्ति बनी, ब्रज ही कान्हा रूप। कण कण में माधव बसे, कृष्ण समान स्वरूप। सावन झर, सावन झर, सावन झर लागेला धीरे धीरे। 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 धीरे धीरे, धीरे धीरे, धीरे धीरे, धीरे धीरे। सावन झर लागेला धीरे धीरे। सावन झर लागेला धीरे धीरे। बादल गरजे, बादल गरजे, बादल गरजे। बादल गरजे, बिजुली चमके। बादल गरजे, बिजुली चमके। बादल गरजे रामा, बादल गरजे। बादल गरजे रामा, बादल गरजे। बादल गरजे रामा, बादल गरजे। बिजुली चमके। चुनर मोरा, चुनर मोरा, चुनर मोरा भीजेला धीरे धीरे। चुनर मोरा भीजेला धीरे धीरे। चुनर मोरा भीजेला धीरे धीरे। सावन झर लागेला धीरे धीरे। सावन झर लागेला धीरे धीरे। गर मगर निसा, गर मगर सावन झर लागेला धीरे 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 सावन झर लागेला धीरे धीरे सावन झर लागेला धीरे धीरे खोलो शाम अब चंदन के बड़िया 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 खोलो शाम अब चंदन के बड़िया अकेली डर अकेली डर अकेली डर लागेला धीरे धीरे 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 सावन झर 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 लागेला धीरे 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 हाँ धीरे 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 हाँ धीरे 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 हाँ धीरे 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 धीरे
Sonam ji, we want to dance dheere dheere.
Thank you, Alka ji. You're too kind. Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Over to you, Pooja.
In this section, I'm going to share with you some of my most recent works and a completely unusual and a new depiction of this very traditional centuries old art form. We're having a problem because we can't share our screen. Someone else has shared their screen, so we'll just wait for a second till we can get back on. Someone else has shared their screen. Sorry for our technical glitch. What you see here is one of my most favorite and one of the most classical compositions of Pichwai art. This is the Haveli of the Srinathji. Within the lexicon of the Pushti-Marg, the word mandir used to denote Hindu temples is seldom used. The devotees of Pushti-Marg believe Srinathji to be a living deity. Hence, the palace where he resides should be called a Haveli or a mansion. The Pichwais of Srinathji Haveli are extremely popular among pilgrim devotees as it is meant to enhance the experience of Srinathji's darshan. These Pichwais were not maps in the conventional sense. They were envisioned to serve as reminders to the miraculous events and sacred objects associated with the life of Krishna. Almost in a spiritual aspect, it is believed by the Pushti Margi devotees that if you have seen a Haveli of the Srinathji, you've experienced parikrama. Parikrama means the holy circumambulation of a sacred spot by a darshan of these Haveli Pichwais. This is especially true in the Govardhan Puja, which is typically depicted in these Pichwais. As is evident in my last slide, what my atelier is really very good at doing is playing with scale. The center Pichwai is, the center Haveli map is about 7 feet to 8 feet, while the one on the bottom right is 1 feet by 1.5 feet. So this is the whole repertoire of the artist that I have in my atelier. Showing you some close-ups. This is one with the landscape. It shows Vraj around the Haveli of Nathdwara. Then comes the grayscale Pichwai. This is like the Mughal miniatures. This intervention of Pichwais is another intervention that I have directed and curated, which has no historical precedence at all in Pichwai art. If you open all the history books, you will never find something like this. How it was born was that I was always obsessed with ink on paper and black and white. So I would keep telling my artists that why can't we make black and white Pichwais? And in many trials, we were somehow not able to get it to them because they are used to working with color. And one fine day, the penny dropped and I said, why don't you imagine a black and white photograph? And this grayscale Pichwai was born. And you can see here how bunches of them work together in my atelier. Some will sketch, sometimes two artists will work together. This slide shows you three Pichwai, the three similar temple maps in different color palette. As we moved into grayscale, we began to experiment more and more, moving into shapes. So, talking to a client, they said, were there ever any circular Pichwais? That just, seeded another thought. And I interpreted the Haveli map in a circular form, and it's gone on to become one of our most favorite and popular temple maps. This is the same Haveli, which has been deconstructed into 12 small works. And oftentimes a collector will want to buy 2 pieces of it, that part of the Haveli that they find most beautiful and intricate. Moving on from deconstruction, we played with deconstruction and shapes. And this particular rendering is tiny, and it was at the last art fair, where we played with all kinds of shapes for this miniature work. This kind of work is only possible because of the skill of my miniature artists and the Nathdwara artists who are able to work together. This is somewhere between a black and white and a sketch. Parts of it have been shaded in with pencil and the others filled in with color. The blue Srinathjis. As we had done more and more of the grayscale, the thought of a more minimal sort of an interpretation of this art form began to take shape. And I decided to pick up the Neil color of Pichwais, which I thought was the most captivating of all colors. Red for me still was traditional, and I thought blue was a color that sat on the fence of traditional and contemporary. And we made these small works where we kept one Srinathji, but the rest of the works were all non-religious icons, which have been picked up from Pichwai art. These 3 screens that you see here were shown at the Bikaner House show in Delhi. If you've seen in Pichwais, as I mentioned, the last step is when the jewelry and the shringar of Srinathji is completed. Looking closely, you find that it's all work done with a very fine dots. And the more I worked with the Pichwai artists, I realized that they had an unusual skill of working with dots. So trying to combine the minimality of the grayscale, using the skill of dots, I began to push them to interpret an entire Pichwai just with gray, the black, and the dots. What emerged were the three works that you see. And when I found them a bit flat, we decided to bring in a pop of color, just making the garlands pink. This is a whole new language, yet again, which can belong with any contemporary art that you may see anywhere around the world. Going back from this gray, we went back to these large screen formats. And this is the beginning of a new experimentation that my atelier is doing, where we are working with site-specific places. And if people tell us about walls or they have rooms where they want 3 walls painted upon, we develop artworks and are able to complete entire rooms in Pichwai art. My family has a lot of business in Japan, and my brother travels back and forth from Japan almost once a month. Having the artistic gene in the family, he walked into a store of Japanese handmade paper and came back with rolls which he gifted me. When I saw those papers, I just felt that there was such beautiful art in them, and I had this desire to combine these two art forms. So the two works that you see here, the red is Japanese handmade paper on which we've juxtaposed a grayscale small Pichwai artwork and framed it in an interesting way so that they play off each other. This is the Chaubi Swaroop, where we've removed all the Mughal miniature motifs, rendered it in grayscale and in just simple red border colors, and put them both together so that you can enjoy the color and the grayscale of Pichwai art simultaneously. Cows, they are almost a representation. They are, by the way, the most popular aspect of Pichwais, and this is something an 18-year-old collector can relate to, and a person who has had traditional Pichwais for generations can relate to. They are closest to pop culture today. And I began to use these as an entry point for the younger generation to this art form. And looking at that objective in mind, I began to give them these backgrounds of chevrons, stripes, checks, and I played with just 3 colors, maybe black, white, and red, maybe just black and white, because what I thought that this particular aspect of Pichwai art could do is bring the younger generation towards it and therefore keep this art form going into the future. This is a mixture of lotus, cows, and the chevrons and the checks we've used using the indigo color. This is simply gold, red, and black. Now the unseen divine. I'm going to end with this particular new collection of works that we have now started making. The Alka Jalan Foundation talks a lot about spirituality, and when I was planning to present for the foundation, this is the most relevant show that I felt sort of matched the philosophy of the Alka Jalan Foundation. Though Pichwai is a religious art form, at the end of the day, it is spiritual. We are all living in times where there is so much strife over religion, over idol, over beliefs, over faiths. At the end of the day, God is one. All of us have something that we believe in. All of us have a divine that we believe in. And I thought, why not remove the religiosity out of this art form and allow any and every person with any faith and belief to be able to find the divinity in this art form. And the more I looked closely at Pichwais, I found, as we've spoken earlier, in the Pushti Marg set, the Pichwais were a symbol of devotion to Srinath Ji. So if you look at the surrounding story of a Pichwai, it's all about bhakti, devotion. And I wanted to pull out those elements and leave the divine for the seer to imagine. So that whoever your divine is, it may be a higher energy, it may be a person in your life, it may be Christ, it may be Ram, it may be Krishna, or it may be nobody, but it may be just your feeling of divinity. And that is what this show, The Unseen Divine, is about, where we've picked out certain Pichwais and given just the feeling of divinity in them. Handing over to you, Sonam, to give us some more of your music. Thank you.
And speaking of devotion, Mirabai was one of the greatest devotees of Krishna. She was one of the most significant sants and mystic poets of the Vaishnav Bhakti movement. She is said to be from that area, of course, of Udaipur, and is said to have written over 1,300 pads in the Bhakti tradition in praise of Lord Krishna. In most of her poems, she describes her unconditional love for her Lord Krishna. Mirabai was a singer, a poet, a saint, and I think, like the two women here today, and the many women listening, a strong woman. It is said that she was once told by a priest that she would not be allowed in a temple because she was a woman and only men were allowed to worship there. To that, Mirabai replied, saying, "Then what are you doing here? Because as far as I'm concerned, the only man in Vrindavan is Sri Krishna." Mirabai was thought by some to be mad because of the extent of her devotion, her obsession almost with Lord Krishna. In fact, spiritual poetry often uses intoxication to describe what Mirabai felt about Lord Krishna. And the interesting thing is, puja has blended so many different techniques, so many different ideologies, influences together to create this new contemporary work. And when I was researching Lord Krishna, I found that so many similarities and so many different forms of spirituality were so visible to me. In fact, the Arabic word of divine essence called dhat is also feminine in gender. And Amir Khusro, some people say, legend has it, that often compared himself sometimes as Radha and his Pir as Lord Krishna in the imagery of the holy celebration, where he says he's colored by the gulal of divine love, which is Sufism. Bal bal jaun main tore rang rejwa, apni si rang dini mo se naina milai ke. And in this poem as well, Mirabai says, I have colored myself with the color of my Hari's love. I have colored myself, deeply dyed myself with the color of my Hari's love. I went to the door of the beloved and I knocked. A voice from within asked, "Who is there?" I answered, "It is I." The voice said, "There is no room here for me and you. There is no room here for me and you." And the door did not open. A year later, I returned to the door of the beloved and I knocked. A voice from within asked, "Who is there?" I said, "It is you." And the door opened. I said, "It is you." And the door opened. रमैया मैं तो थारे राती रमैया मैं तो थारे रंग राती। औरों के पिया पर देश बसत है, औरों के पिया पर देश बसत है, लिख लिख भेजे पाती, लिख लिख भेजे पाती। मेरे पिया मेरे हृदय बसत है, मेरे पिया मेरे हृदय बसत है, रौनक लूं दिन राती, रौनक लूं दिन राती। मैं तो थारे रंग राती रमैया, मैं तो थारे रंग राती रमैया, मैं तो थारे रंग राती रंग राती। जाऊनी पिहरिए आऊनी सासरिए, जाऊनी पिहरिए आऊनी सासरिए, हरिसू सेन लगाती, हरिसू सेन लगाती। मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर, मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर, मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर, हरि चरणा चित लागी, हरि चरणा चित लागी। मैं तो थारे रंग राती रमैया, मैं तो थारे रंग राती। और सखी मद पी माती, और सखी मद पी माती, मैं बिन पिया ही माती, मैं बिन पिया ही माती। प्रेम बटी को मैं मद पियो, प्रेम बटी को मैं मद पियो, छकी फिरो दिन राती, छकी फिरो दिन राती। मैं तो प्रेम भटी का मदवा पिलाई के, प्रेम भटी का मदवा पिलाई के, मदवा पिलाई के, मदवा पिलाई के। प्रेम भटी का मदवा पिलाई के, मतवारी कर दी मेरे बोस नैना मिलाई के। छाप तिलक सब छीन मेरे बोस नैना मिलाई के, बात अगम कर दी मेरे बोस नैना मिलाई के। छाप तिलक सब छीन मेरे बोस नैना मिलाई के। बल बल जाऊं मैं तोरे रंग रिझवा, बल बल जाऊं मैं तोरे रंग रिझवा, बल बल जाऊं मैं, बल बल जाऊं मैं, बल बल जाऊं मैं तोरे रंग रिझवा। अपनी सी रंग दी छाप तिलक सब छीनी रे उस नैना मिलाई के अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं तुम मीरा जैसे बुलाते नहीं तुम जैसे बुलाते नहीं अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं तुम मीरा जैसे बुलाते नहीं गोरी गोरी बैया हरी हरी चूड़िया गोरी गोरी बैया हरी हरी चूड़िया बैया पकड़ धर ली रे मोसे नैना मिलाई के मोहे सुहागन की रे मोसे नैना मिलाई के नैना 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 मोसे नैना नैना मोसे नैना 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 मोसे नैना मोसे नैना 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 मोसे नैना 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 मोसे नैना 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 मोसे नैना 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 मोसे नैना 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 मोसे नैना 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 मोसे नैना मोसे नैना 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 मेरे मन मोहना मोसे नैना 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 मोसे नैना 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 मेरे मन मोहना मोसे नैना 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 मोसे नैना 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 नैना
पूजा एंड सोनम जी हम सब झूम उठे हैं एंड एकदम प्रेम में डूब चुके हैं.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was divine, both of you together.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
beautiful. I can't thank you enough. आंख में आंसू आ गए हैं.
I wanted to just end, Sonam and I talked about this, and we wanted to end this whole presentation with one message. For our heritage to survive, it is so important for all of us to break our traditional thought processes, to think differently. We are both involved in sort of mixing and contemporizing our traditional heritage while still keeping the essence of it alive. And it is platforms like yours, Alkaji, which give us a chance to be able to share our journeys and to do what we are doing. And we only hope more and more people will take inspiration from this and be able to take out the best of our Indian heritage and see that it is not ended. Thank you so much for the lovely.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank you.
Bless
Thank
you.
you,
Bless
thank you,
both
Pooja
of you.
ji. Thank you, Pooja, Alka ji. Thank you,
Bless
Rekha.
both of you. God
Thank
bless.
you, Adit, as well. Thank you so much. Thank you to the Alka Jalan Foundation for giving us, as Pooja said, these beautiful platforms and keeping these conversations on art alive and keeping new conversations going. So thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good.